First contact. The void of space stretched before Captain Maya Reed as she stood at the observation deck of the UNSS Pathfinder. The distant moon of Proxima Centauri hung in the darkness, its surface scarred with craters and canyons. Maya's breath fogged the reinforced glass as she leaned forward. After 15 years of service in the United Earth Space Corps, she thought she'd seen everything the cosmos had to offer. She was wrong. "Captain, we're approaching the anomaly." Lieutenant Kai Chin's voice crackled through her comm. "The energy signatures are unlike anything we've encountered before." Maya straightened her uniform and headed toward the bridge. The Pathfinder was humanity's most advanced exploration vessel, equipped with technology that would have seemed like magic just 50 years ago. Yet, as they approached the strange structure protruding from the moon's surface, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were children stumbling upon the toys of giants. "On screen," she ordered as she entered the bridge. The main display flickered to life, revealing a massive crystalline structure that seemed to grow from the moon's surface. It gleamed with an inner light that pulsed rhythmically, almost like a heartbeat. "It's beautiful," whispered Dr. Elena Torres, the team's xenobiologist, "and definitely not natural. Scans indicate it's at least 50,000 years old," Chen reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "Material composition unknown. The energy patterns are changing. It's responding to our presence." Maya's decision was immediate. "Prep the landing team. Full containment protocols. Whatever this is, it's the first clear evidence of non-human intelligence we've ever found." 6 hours later, Maya led her team across the moon's dusty surface toward the towering crystal structure. Each step sent small clouds of regolith drifting upward before settling back down in the low gravity. The structure loomed larger as they approached, its surface catching the light of the distant sun and fracturing it into countless rainbows. "The patterns are becoming more erratic," reported Dr. Torres, studying her handheld scanner. "It's almost as if..." A blinding flash erupted from the structure, and Maya instinctively raised her arm to shield her visor. When the light faded, a section of the crystal had opened, revealing a passage leading inside. An invitation. Chief Security Officer Raj Patel's hand hovered near his weapon. "Or a trap," Chen added. Maya studied the opening. "We didn't come all this way to turn back now." "Patel, Chen, you're with me. Torres, monitor from here and maintain communication with the ship." The interior of the structure defied all expectations. The walls seemed to shift between solid crystal and something more fluid, like light-given substance. Their footsteps echoed strangely, as if the space were both vast and confined simultaneously. At the center of the chamber stood what appeared to be a console, though it lacked any recognizable controls. As Maya approached, the crystal nearest to her began to glow brighter. "Captain, your vitals are spiking." Torres' concerned voice came through the comm. "What's happening in there?" Maya couldn't answer. A presence had entered her mind. Alien yet somehow familiar. Images flooded her consciousness. Stars being born and dying, civilizations rising and falling, and creatures of crystal and light spreading through the galaxy. "We have waited," a voice that wasn't a voice whispered in her mind. "The Devourers approach. The cycle begins anew." The console before her suddenly activated, projecting a three-dimensional star map throughout the chamber. One region pulsed with an ominous red light. "Captain." Chen's voice seemed distant. "Something's happening on the surface." Maya struggled to focus as the alien presence receded from her mind. "What is it?" "The structure. It's changing. And it's broadcasting something into deep space." Maya staggered back from the console, her heart racing. "We need to report this immediately. Get samples, scans, everything we can. Then fall back to the ship." As they hurried back toward the entrance, Maya noticed something moving within the crystalline walls, a shape that seemed to flow alongside them, watching. When they reached the exit, Maya paused and turned back. A portion of the wall flowed outward, taking a form that was vaguely humanoid but composed entirely of living crystal. The Guardian awaits, the voice whispered in her mind. You have awakened us. And them. Back aboard the Pathfinder, Maya stared at the data streaming across the screens. The signal it's broadcasting, can we decipher it? It's not just a signal, Chen explained, his expression grave. It's more like a beacon, and it's powerful enough to reach across thousands of light years. A beacon for what? Patil asked. Before anyone could answer, the ship's sensors blared an alert. Multiple objects approaching at superluminal speeds, the aliens that are currently threatening to harvest our planet. The very same. Admiral, I need to brief you and Earth's leadership immediately. The Xorians are more dangerous than you realize, but they also have weaknesses we can exploit. Harrison nodded slowly. Dock at Platform Alpha. I'll assemble everyone. As Maya ended the transmission, she felt the Guardian's presence in her mind. The Xorians will detect our arrival. They will know what we are. Good, Maya thought back. Let them worry for a change. Aboard his flagship, Thorn Vex received the news of the Guardian's arrival with rage and fascination. A Guardian bonded with a human. He hissed, his exoskeleton flaring with bioluminescent patterns of aggression. This is unprecedented. Supreme Hunter, Krell reported, our scouts have analyzed the vessel. The bonding is incomplete. The Guardian technology has only partially integrated with their primitive systems. Thorn Vex's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Then they are vulnerable. Prepare the devourer beasts. If the humans have found one Guardian, there may be others hidden in this system. We cannot allow any more to awaken. Throughout the Xorian flagship, chambers that had remained dormant during the journey began to activate. Within them, massive creatures, bioengineered weapons shaped by millennia of Saurian evolution, stirred from artificial hibernation. Each stood 3 times the height of a human, with multiple limbs ending in razor-sharp claws. Their exoskeletons were even darker than their masters, absorbing all light that touched them. These were the devourers in their purest form, the apex predators that had given the Xorians their fearsome reputation across the galaxy. On Earth, Maya stood before the hastily assembled War Council, her crystalline armor gleaming under the conference room lights. She had spent the past hour explaining what she had learned from the Guardian, the history of the conflict, the nature of the Xorian threat, and most importantly, how they might be defeated. The Xorians have one critical weakness, she explained. Their hierarchical biology. Every Xorian vessel contains a prime, a biologically superior individual that controls the others through pheromones and psychic dominance. Kill the prime, and the rest become disorganized, vulnerable. And how exactly do we kill something that our weapons can barely damage? General Williams asked. Maya gestured, and a holographic display appeared above the conference table, showing schematics of the transformed Pathfinder. Guardian technology. The crystalline material isn't just armor. It's a living weapon system designed specifically to counter Xorian biology. With enough time, we could upgrade Earth's defense fleet, which we don't have, Harrison pointed out. Their ultimatum gives us less than 70 hours now. Then we work with what we have, Maya stated firmly. The Pathfinder can strike directly at their command ship. If we can eliminate Thorn Vex, their fleet will fall into disarray. That's when Earth's forces strike. A decapitation strategy, Harrison mused. High risk. Extreme risk, Maya corrected. But it's our best chance. I'll need volunteers from Earth's special forces. The bonding process is intense, but it will give them the protection they need to board a Xorian vessel. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Finally, Harrison spoke. I'll authorize it. But Captain, you should know, we've already lost Mars and Europa. Over 5,000 people taken. Maya's expression hardened. All the more reason to make this work, Admiral. The Xorians don't just kill, they consume. Everyone they take becomes part of their collective. Their history, their knowledge, their essence. It's how they've evolved across millions of years. And these guardian beings, asked Dr. Montgomery. What happens to those who bond with them? Maya hesitated. The process is symbiotic. I'm still myself, but I share my consciousness with the Guardian. It's not possession or control. It's a partnership. A partnership with an alien intelligence we know nothing about. The Chinese representative pointed out. How convenient that they appear just when we need them. They've been here for 50,000 years, Maya replied calmly. Waiting. Dormant. The Cthorians thought they had exterminated the Guardians long ago. Finding one here, bonded with a human, it will terrify them. Harrison made his decision. Proceed with the volunteer selection. I want this mission ready in 48 hours. As the meeting disbanded, Maya felt a sudden pressure in her mind. The Guardian, alerting her to danger. She staggered slightly, catching herself on the conference table. Captain. Harrison moved to steady her. What is it? They're coming, Maya gasped. The Xorians. They're launching something. Not ships, creatures, bioweapons. They're afraid of what we might become. Harrison immediately activated his comm. Thornvex flexed his blade-like appendages. The Guardians have been broken for millennia. If one remains here, we will find it and destroy it, as we have all the others. He turned to the communication array. Let us address these humans. It is always more satisfying when prey understands its place in the natural order. On the Indomitable's bridge, the main screen suddenly activated, displaying an alien figure that caused several officers to instinctively step back. Harrison maintained his composure, though his hand tightened on the rail before him. I am Supreme Hunter Thornvex of the Xorian Dominion, the creature announced, its voice a metallic rasp translated through the ship's systems. Your world has been chosen. Your species has been deemed worthy of consumption. This is an honor not granted to all life forms. Harrison stepped forward. This is Admiral James Harrison of the Earth Defense Force. We have no quarrel with you or your people. We seek peaceful. Peace is stagnation. Thornvex interrupted. Consumption is growth. You will serve the Dominion by becoming part of us. Your resistance is expected but futile. It will make your essence all the sweeter when we finally harvest your world. And if we refuse to be harvested, Harrison demanded. The alien's mandibles clicked in what might have been laughter. Then we will take what we want anyway, but with less efficiency. Already our scouts approach your colonies on Mars and Europa. Consider their fate, a demonstration of what awaits Earth. The screen went dark. Sir, Jackson said, her voice tight. We're receiving distress calls from both Mars Colony and the Europa Research Station. They're under attack. Harrison's decision was immediate. Dispatch the 3rd and 5th fleets to the colonies. All remaining ships form defensive positions around Earth. And get me anyone who knows anything about these Guardians the captain mentioned in her warning. Light years away, in the darkness of space near Proxima Centauri, the Pathfinder drifted silently, its systems powered down to minimum levels. Within its hull, the surviving crew watched anxiously as their captain underwent a transformation they barely understood. Maya Reed floated in the ship's medical bay, her body encased in a crystalline shell that pulsed with inner light. Dr. Torres monitored her vital signs with a combination of fascination and horror. It's incredible, she murmured to Lieutenant Chen. The crystalline material is bonding with her at a cellular level. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Is it killing her? Chen asked bluntly. I don't think so. Her brain activity is off the charts, but in patterns I can't begin to interpret. It's as if... Torres hesitated. It's as if her consciousness has expanded somehow. Within the crystalline cocoon, Maya experienced universes. The Guardian's memories flowed through her mind like a torrent. The ancient war against the Devourers, the fall of countless civilizations, the desperate plan to hide and wait for allies worthy of bonding with the remaining Guardians. They call themselves Xorians now, the Guardian's voice explained within her mind. They were once like you, curious, intelligent, but they discovered a way to absorb and incorporate the biological and technological distinctiveness of other species. It changed them, made them insatiable. Maya struggled to maintain her sense of self amidst the flood of alien memories. How do we fight them? Alone, you cannot. Together, we stand a chance. The Pathfinder must be transformed. Like you, it must become something more. My crew will be protected, but we must act quickly. The Ixorians have already reached your system. They will test your defenses first, attack your most vulnerable outposts. Maya felt a surge of panic. Earth isn't ready for this kind of threat. Few species ever are. But humans possess something rare: adaptability, determination. You do not accept defeat easily. This is why I chose you. The crystalline shell around Maya began to crack, light pouring from the fissures. Dr. Torres and Chen stepped back as the cocoon burst open, revealing Maya, transformed. Her uniform had been replaced by a form-fitting crystalline armor that seemed to flow with her movements. Her eyes glowed with the same inner light as the Guardian. "Captain," Chen ventured uncertainly. "I'm still me," Maya assured him, her voice oddly resonant. "But I'm also more." She looked around the medical bay, seeing it with new eyes, perceiving energy flows, structural weaknesses, potential. "We need to get back to Earth immediately, and we need to prepare this ship for battle." "Battle," Torres echoed. "The Pathfinder is an exploration vessel, not a warship." Maya smiled grimly. "It's about to become both." Over the next 72 hours, the Pathfinder underwent a metamorphosis as the crystalline technology spread throughout its systems. Guided by Maya's newfound knowledge, the crew worked around the clock, integrating the alien upgrades with human ingenuity. What emerged was no longer purely human technology, nor was it entirely Guardian. It was something new. As they prepared to engage the experimental faster-than-light drive that would return them to Earth, Maya stood on the bridge, feeling the ship as an extension of herself. "Set course for home," she ordered, "and prepare for immediate combat upon arrival." Chen looked up from his console. "The Guardian technology. Will it be enough against these Scorians?" Maya's expression was solemn. By itself, no. But the Guardians never understood humanity's greatest strength, which is, we don't know when to quit. Maya placed her crystalline armored hand on the ship's main control panel, which responded with a pulse of light. "And neither do I." As the Pathfinder vanished into FTL, leaving a trail of crystalline energy in its wake, Maya prepared herself for what was to come. The Ixorians had chosen humanity as their next meal. They were about to discover that humans bite back. The Defiance. Mars' colony lay in ruins. The Ixorian attack had been swift and devastating, their smaller scout vessels descending on the settlement like predatory birds. In the aftermath, over 2,000 colonists were missing. Not killed, but taken aboard the alien ships. The defenders had managed to capture video footage of colonists being enveloped in some kind of stasis field before being transported away. Admiral Harrison reviewed the footage for the 20th time, searching for any weakness, any tactical insight. The conference room aboard the EDF Indomitable was filled with Earth's highest-ranking military officers and government officials, all watching the grim scenes with varying degrees of horror. "They're harvesting us," Dr. Eliza Montgomery, Earth's leading xenobiologist, stated flatly. "Based on the limited data we have, they appear to be absorbing not just biological material but knowledge, cultural information, the essence of what makes us human." "How do we fight that?" demanded General Williams of the Global Defense Force. "Our weapons barely penetrate their hull plating. The Mars Defense Force hit them with everything they had." Harrison shut off the display. "We have 72 hours before their main fleet moves against Earth. That's what their ultimatum stated. We either surrender half our population for processing, or they take it all by force." "And you believe this fairy tale about ancient crystal guardians?" asked the Chinese representative, her skepticism evident. "One missing captain sends a cryptic warning, and we're supposed to pin our hopes on alien saviors. At this point, Harrison replied grimly, unwilling to consider any possibility that might save humanity. As if summoned by his words, a junior officer burst into the room. "Admiral, something's just appeared on our long-range sensors. It's approaching at incredible speed." "Saurian reinforcements?" Harrison asked, already heading for the door. "No, sir. It's the Pathfinder." The bridge of the Indomitable erupted in activity as officers tracked the approaching vessel. What their sensors revealed, however, barely resembled the exploration ship that had left Earth months earlier. Its hull now gleamed with crystalline growths, and it moved with a speed and agility that defied conventional physics. "On screen," Harrison ordered. The main view screen activated to show the transformed Pathfinder. Crystalline formations extended from its hull like elegant wings, pulsing with inner light. Energy signatures unlike anything their sensors could categorize emanated from the vessel. "They're hailing us," Lieutenant Commander Jackson reported. "Put them through." The screen shifted to show Captain Maya Reed, or what Maya Reed had become. Harrison barely recognized her. The crystalline armor that covered her seemed alive, shifting subtly with her movements. Her eyes glowed with the same inner light as her ship. "Admiral Harrison," she greeted him, her voice carrying a strange harmonic quality. "I apologize for our delayed return." Harrison stared, momentarily speechless. "Captain Reed, what happened to you?" "I've been changed," she acknowledged. "Bonded with one of the Guardians. The same will happen to the Pathfinder and select volunteers, if they're willing. It's our best hope against the Torians," the AI announced calmly. "Estimated arrival, 12 hours. Maya looked back at the view screen, where the crystalline structure now pulsed with increasing urgency. "I think we're about to find out. And I don't think we're going to like the answer." Hours later, as the Pathfinder maintained orbit around the moon, Maya returned to the surface alone, drawn by an inexplicable need to communicate once more with the crystal entity. As she approached the structure, the same opening appeared, beckoning her inside. This time, the crystalline being awaited her, its form more defined, almost human-like, but with facets that caught and reflected the light in hypnotic patterns. "You return," the voice in her mind observed. "Curious, brave, perhaps worthy." "Worthy of what?" Maya asked aloud. "What are the Devourers? What is this place?" Images flooded her mind once more. Massive ships darkening skies, crystalline worlds shattering, and beings like the one before her falling into dormancy, hiding throughout the galaxy. They consume all. Life, technology, worlds. They have done so for millions of years. We were created to oppose them, to protect life in all its forms. But we failed. We scattered. We waited. And now they're coming here. Because of us. They would have found you eventually. All life that reaches the stars eventually faces their hunger. But now, perhaps, you will not face them alone. The crystalline being moved closer, its form shifting and changing. "I am not complete. I require a pilot, a mind to guide, a will to fight. You activated the call. The choice is now yours." Before Maya could respond, her comm crackled to life with Chen's panicked voice. "Captain, unknown vessels have entered the system. Dozens of them, massive energy readings. They're not responding to hails." Maya looked at the crystalline being, understanding slowly dawning. "You need me to control you, to pilot you against these Devourers, to join, to bond, to fight, or to flee, if that is your choice. But know this, they will show no mercy. They know only hunger." Maya's hand instinctively went to the Earth Defense Force insignia on her uniform. Everything she had sworn to protect was now threatened. "Show me how," she said firmly. The crystalline being's form began to flow around her, encasing her suit in a second skin of living crystal. Knowledge and power flowed into her mind, how to control the structure, how to transform it, how to fight. The bond is formed. We are Guardian. We stand against the devourers. As the crystal merged with her suit, Maya felt the structure around them begin to shift and change. Through their shared consciousness, she realized the truth. The structure wasn't just a building or a beacon. It was a ship, a weapon, and now it was awakening. "Chen," she managed to say through her calm, "tell Earth, tell them first contact has been made. And warn them, we're not alone in the universe, and not everyone out there is friendly." Above the moon, the first of the massive alien vessels began to decelerate, its hull black as the void itself and bristling with weapons. The hunt had begun. The arrival. The Xorian fleet darkened the space above Earth like a storm cloud blocking the sun. 17 massive vessels, each the size of a small city, held position just beyond the range of Earth's defense platforms. Their hulls absorbed light rather than reflected it, creating an unnerving silhouette against the starfield. Admiral James Harrison stood on the bridge of the EDF Indomitable, Earth's flagship, studying the tactical display with growing dread. In the 2 weeks since Captain Reed's warning had reached Earth, the planet had mobilized for war at an unprecedented pace. But looking at the alien armada before them, Harrison knew it wouldn't be enough. Still no response to our hails. Lieutenant Commander Sarah Jackson reported, her voice steady despite the tension permeating the bridge. "They're just watching." "What about the Pathfinder?" Harrison asked. "No contact since the initial warning. We have to assume Captain Reed and her crew are lost." Harrison nodded grimly. "Continue broadcasting on all frequencies, and alert all ships, weapons hot, but hold fire unless fired upon." Aboard the lead Xorian vessel, Supreme Hunter Thornbex observed the primitive human defenses with predatory amusement. Standing nearly 8 feet tall, his exoskeleton gleamed with the distinctive blue-black sheen of a veteran who had consumed the essence of countless conquered species. Behind him, the command chamber buzzed with the activity of his crew, each bearing similar armored exoskeletons, but lacking the intricate patterns that marked Thornbex as their supreme leader. "Such primitive vessels," he remarked to his second, Krell, "barely worth consuming." "Yet they activated a guardian beacon," Krell cautioned. "The ancient enemy would not have hidden one here without reason." "All defense platforms on high alert. Unknown threat inbound." Maya straightened, her crystalline armor pulsing with increased luminosity. "I need to get back to the Pathfinder. Now." Hours later, Earth's night sky blazed with the light of battle. The Xorian bioweapons, massive creatures propelled by organic thrusters, descended through the atmosphere like meteors. Earth's defense platforms opened fire, destroying some, but many more got through. From the Pathfinder, now in low Earth orbit, Maya coordinated with Harrison's forces. Through her enhanced senses, she could track the creatures as they landed in population centers across the globe. "They're targeting major cities," she reported. "London, Beijing, New York, Moscow, all under attack." "Ground forces are engaging," Harrison replied, his voice tense. "But these things, they're absorbing our weapons fire. Conventional arms barely slow them down." Maya closed her eyes, connecting more deeply with the Guardian technology. Through it, she could sense the Xorian creatures, feel their hunger, their singular purpose. "They're searching," she realized. "Not just attacking randomly. They're looking for something. For us," the Guardian's voice explained in her mind. "For any trace of my kind, they fear what we might awaken." Maya's eyes snapped open. "Admiral, they're hunting for Guardian technology. Any trace of it. That means they're coming for you," Harrison concluded grimly. "The Pathfinder is their primary target." "No," Maya corrected, a plan forming in her mind. "They're coming for any Guardian, which means we can lure them." "You're suggesting using yourself as bait." "Exactly. While their bioweapons focus on me, your special forces can infiltrate their command ship. It will be vulnerable with its weapons diverted to controlling the creatures." Harrison was silent for a moment. "That's suicide, Captain." "Not necessarily. Maya replied, her tone determined. Remember what I said about the Xorians' hierarchical biology. It works for their weapons too. These creatures answer to Thornvex directly. If we can neutralize him, the creatures become directionless. Harrison finished. It could work, but getting to Thornvex, leave that to me and my team, Maya said. Just have your forces ready to strike when the moment comes. As Maya ended the transmission, Lieutenant Chen approached her on the Pathfinder's bridge. The volunteers are ready, Captain. 20 of Earth's best soldiers, all prepared for the bonding process. Maya nodded. Begin immediately. And Chen, thank you for standing by me through this. I know how strange all this must seem. Chen's expression was solemn. After what I've seen these Corians do to Mars Colony, nothing's too strange if it gives us a fighting chance. As night fell across Earth, the transformed Pathfinder descended into the atmosphere, its crystalline surfaces blazing with light, a beacon to the Xorian creatures rampaging across the planet. Behind it, 20 smaller craft followed, each carrying a newly bonded human guardian pair. Maya stood at the helm, feeling the ship respond to her thoughts as much as her commands. Around the world, the devourer beasts sensed the guardian presence and began to converge. Just as we planned, Maya murmured. Follow the light, you bastards. Above, in orbit, the Xorian command ship moved into position, its weapons arrays powering up. Thornvex had taken the bait. The trap was set. Now came the most dangerous part, springing it. Reversal of power. Dawn broke over the Sahara Desert as the Pathfinder touched down, its crystalline hull glowing like a second sun. Around it, in a perimeter formation, the 20 smaller craft landed, their bonded pilots emerging in their guardian armor. Maya stood at their center, her armor now fully evolved. Spikes of living crystal extending from her shoulders and spine. Her helmet formed into a fearsome visage that combined human and guardian aesthetics. They're coming, she announced, sensing the approach of the devourer beasts through her connection with the guardian. Everyone remember your training. These creatures are formidable, but they're slaves to their biology. Use that against them. The ground trembled as the first of the massive bioweapons appeared on the horizon, moving with terrifying speed across the desert sands. Behind it came dozens more, all converging on the guardian presence they sensed. Defensive formation, Maya ordered, and her team moved into position, their crystalline weapons humming with energy. Above, invisible to normal human perception, but clear to Maya's enhanced senses, Earth Defense Force ships approached the Xorian command vessel. With most of Thornvex's attention focused on controlling his bioweapons, the massive ship's defenses were at minimum strength, exactly as Maya had predicted. The first devourer beast reached their position, a nightmarish amalgamation of chitin and muscle standing nearly 20 feet tall. It reared back, mandibles spreading to reveal rows of serrated teeth, and unleashed a screech that shook the very air. Maya stepped forward alone, her armor pulsing with light patterns that mirrored the beast's own bioluminescent signals. The creature hesitated, confusion evident in its posture. Show no fear, the guardian advised in her mind. These creatures respect only dominance and strength. Maya extended her arms, the crystalline blades growing from her forearms, lengthening into glowing swords. Come then, she challenged aloud. Let's see what you're made of. The beast charged, covering the distance between them in seconds. Maya stood her ground until the last possible moment, then moved with inhuman speed, a gift of her guardian bond. She slid beneath the creature's massive limb and drove one crystal blade deep into a joint where its exoskeleton was thinnest. The beast howled, a sound of rage rather than pain, and whirled to face her again. This time, it approached more cautiously, assessing her with intelligence that belied its monstrous appearance. Around them, the other bonded soldiers engaged with the arriving devourers, the desert becoming a chaotic battlefield of crystalline light against chitinous darkness. The guardian technology gave the humans enhanced strength, speed, and reflexes. enough to hold their own against the bioweapons, but not enough for a decisive victory. "We just need to hold them here," Maya reminded her team through their comlink. "Every minute we keep them occupied is another minute for the infiltration team to reach Thornvex." The beast before her lunged again, this time coordinating its attack with two others that had flanked her position. Maya leaped upward, her armor enhancing her jump to impossible heights, and came down with both blades striking at the central creature's sensory cluster. The crystalline weapons penetrated deep, and the beast shuddered. But instead of falling, it grabbed Maya with unexpected speed, trapping her in its massive clawed grip. "Careful," the Guardian warned. "Direct contact allows it to analyze your biological signature, to begin consumption." Maya felt it immediately, a tingling sensation where the creature touched her armor, as if something were trying to breach the crystalline protection. The beast brought her closer to its face, mandibles clicking as it examined her. In that moment, something unprecedented happened. The creature's bioluminescent patterns shifted, changing from aggressive red to a more subdued blue. It made a sound, not the battle screech from before, but something almost like a purr. "What's happening?" Maya gasped, still struggling in its grip. "Impossible," the Guardian's mental voice was filled with wonder. "It's recognizing me. Us. The bonded form." The devourer beast lowered Maya gently to the ground, and then, to her utter astonishment, it bowed its massive head before her. Around them, the battle paused as the other creatures noticed the interaction, their own attack patterns faltering. Maya stood frozen, unsure how to respond. Why is it doing this? The Thorians engineered these creatures from their own genetic material, the Guardian explained. But they built in safeguards, biological imperatives that ensure obedience. One of those imperatives is absolute submission to superior Xorian biology. But I'm human, bonded with Guardian technology, which the Thorians have been attempting to integrate into their own biology for millennia. To this creature, you appear as a superior form of its own masters. Understanding dawned on Maya.